Hello, welcome. I'm Helen from Authentic Discovery. Thank you for coming to watch Speak Your Truth Conversations with Alix. If you can like, subscribe, that would be great. So, Alix, can I ask you to introduce yourself? And thank you for joining me.
Welcome. Good morning, Helen. And it's really fantastic for you to invite me. I was like really blessed. I thought, oh, and so I'm Alix Harrow. I have had various careers. I've probably on my fourth career move at the moment. So I'm well rehearsed in changing careers. So I'm a drama therapist and an actor and a chef, and I'm moving to some kind of coaching with men. Although I wouldn't want to call myself a coach because I'm not normal in that respect. I would like to find a different. I will find my own interpretation of what that is.
Okay. Right, so you said you've had a number of careers, and I was kind of like, ooh. So, drama therapist, chef, heading into working with men you'll find your own description. So when you say coach, so working with men, is there an area in particular that you'll be working with men towards? Is it sort of confidence-based? Is it self-esteem? Is it manhood? Have you identified how you will work with men in a specific area? In general?
At the moment, I'm just building my community. So it's moving very slowly forward into the new me or the next me. And so as the new thing unfolds, whatever that is, then it will open its doors to what it actually is.
Okay.
When you're opening a new path, you actually don't really know what it is. So every step you take will deliver the next point of inspiration, if you like. So
I love that. What I'm getting from you is this openness to just to live your life on your terms, and whatever wherever your expression feels it wants to be led, whether it's in cooking, they're all creative. Actor, chef, drama therapist. There's creativity around that, and that openness to move in the direction that takes you into the next. I think you call it was not the new you, it was the next you, it was the next sort of the ongoing phase. So that openness to fully realizing the self is what I'm getting, and where however that opens up, whatever comes before you, that willingness to say, oh, let me go there. That's what I've just got from you. So I find that quite exciting. So what inspires you then? What inspires you? What takes you down? What created that openness? Because a lot of people aren't like that. It's very much, I mean, I know when I sort of was young, right, you've left school, you get a job, and it's very funnel, very directive in terms of you get a job and that's it. And I know that the world has changed a lot since I was younger, but not many people have that, have overcome that fear of the unknown to be open to it, I think is perhaps what I'm going to say. So what inspired that? Where did that come from?
I'm quite a different person. I'm quite individual, and I never really fitted in anywhere. Not in school, not in my family, not in any job situation I found myself in, really. I found myself to be very unique. And so what I've developed is what I call self-parenting.
Yes, I've seen some of that. Yeah.
Which I've written several books about. And so I would call myself a minority of one. And I would encourage that for everybody, because if you become a minority of one, then it's firstly, it's very difficult because you have to take full responsibility for your journey, for my journey. So I've managed to take responsibility for being born in the first place, because I decided to come here, and I came through into a situation that was very difficult. So I had to deal with a great deal of difficulty in my young life. But that difficulty has enabled me to build stamina. So I have built stamina and endurance from a difficult start. So once you have those two things, then you're more likely to be able to push forward because you've got the strength to do that. I don't think necessarily you have to have a hard time initially to build stamina or endurance, but the consequence of my journey made me do that. Can't think of what I'm saying, but can you repeat what you just said? What's the question?
The question was what the inspiration, because you're so open to being and realizing yourself. What was the inspiration? Where did that come from? And you actually answered that from that early life, from your choices from the early life and the situations you found yourself in. What I've got is that built, I think you said stamina and endurance. A word that came to mind that I thought you would say was resilience. But so you have answered that, and while you were speaking, what actually came to me is that you're also an author, because you said you've written books, so you are an author also. So the inspiration, what I got from what you said, and please expand on it, is that the inspiration comes from life, from your life, your from what you have gained, and there also seems to be that responsibility you spoke about, the responsibility of the self and accepting that responsibility for your life and not looking outward. There's a real sense of I am who I am, what I am who I am, and I am responsible. I get a real grounded responsibility. But I suppose that what's going around in my head now is has that been painful, or was it smooth? Because I suppose I think out of adversity comes amazing things, and I'm kind of I've just realised something. I'm kind of living a life where I'm kind of I don't really want any more adversity. Actually, you can go over there. And I've only just realised that I might be avoiding, even though I'm diving. No, I'm not. But there is a definite desire for for the roller coaster to just kind of start to level out, I suppose. So yeah, I kind of lost what I was saying. Yeah. What I was asking you.
I think it's when one is on the journey of discovering one's, or for me, when I'm on the journey of discovering my identity, and that is a lifelong journey. That's never going to stop, and it is painful. There's no two ways about it. It's painful because your identity is always changing, or my identity is always changing, because of external factors. I've moved house 39 times in my search. So you develop this kind of willingness to say, okay, I'm now in this identity search, and then I've asked for it. I came into this world. I've asked to come here. I have I've bought into it, and I've been able to look deep within myself, to kind of look for answers, because the answers are within and not without.
Yes.
But it's painful, and it doesn't stop. The pain has been very, very extreme at times. The last 3 weeks I've been in a complete trough, really. The last 2 days I've been better. But it's been very difficult with this situation that's going on in the world at the moment.
Yeah, it's very painful right now.
It's very painful.
Very painful.
And, and it's far deeper than anyone realises. This is an existential moment in history. Yeah. And it's not, in my mind, it's not to do with black or white or racist or whateverist. It's to do with this existential crisis, which you cannot describe in words. It just, when people say, what do you feel deep inside you? It's very difficult to me to explain in words what is going on in my identity evolvement. Because even though I've studied hundreds of books and my language level is quite good now, I still struggle with trying to explain how did I come to, how am I, as you say, open to this journey, this evolvement? What does that mean, even, And so I wish upon this planet, on this, that the people that come to an acceptance of self, and this minority of one is so important, because we are individuals. Every single person on this planet is an individual, and we can group ourselves with, various, races or gender, or these are things we've labelled in society to enable us to kind of get some kind of structure in our head that we belong here and here and here. And I know that I'm far more comfortable in the presence of black people than I am with white people. I'm far more comfortable with men than I am with women. I am far more comfortable with gay people than I am with straight people. And I'm not very good at being with women. I'm not very good at being with gay women.
Do you think that's something to do with the masculine and the feminine, as opposed to, because we have this duality of masculine and feminine? I suppose I'm just kind of exploring divine feminine a little bit. So there's the masculine elements and the feminine elements, and your how you feel comfortable. I love that you've able to, just even the confidence in being able to say that. Most people wouldn't dream of saying, well, actually, I'm more comfortable with that, I'm more comfortable here, and I'm more comfortable there, and these are the places that I feel more. Now I'm going to put words into your mouth. More me. When you're saying more comfortable, I feel more me in these environments with these people, and I can an element of safety also, because with comfort, if you're feeling comfortable, you're feeling safe, you're feeling more yourself, and not having to, I think, outside of your comfort, then you have to kind of, especially when you're with people, you have to. So is it about I'm doing what I do, which is just zip off. But is it about the masculine and feminine energies? Is there a possibility that men, gay men, is there a possibility that you have a more of a masculine energy, or I'm kind of asking something, and I'm hoping that you're picking it up.
We'll try and get there. I don't know if I'm quite there yet, but when I did my drama therapy training,
that's not easy, is it?
That's not easy. Jesus, no.
No, I share that. Sorry for laughing. I'm just thinking.
Like, you know, throwing yourself at the wall, basically.
Yeah.
But that process,
Yes.
kind of helped me to develop my inner masculine, because in my early life, I was always classified, if you'd like to say that, as a right brain thinker, because I'm an artist. And both my parents are artists, and both my grandparents, my grandmas were artists. So you might call me a bit of a thoroughbred artist. So there's a lot of right brain stuff going on, and the left brain, you know. So it took me a lot of years to get the masculine developed within myself. And when I say masculine, I mean development of ability to structure things well, ability to develop compartments where I can develop models of being. Masculine is equated with linear thinking.
Yes.
And mathematical kind of interpretation.
I'm here, I'm going there.
Yeah, I'm going there.
Going there. And us women like to do this.
Yeah, you know. And so my inner masculine and feminine is quite balanced now. Although when I get very emotional, I can get quite annoyed with myself about being emotional. And I suspect that's masculine going, come on, but so I've veered off what you were asking, and I don't know. I can't remember.
The comfort, and I suppose even when you were speaking, I realised that what I'd asked was actually kind of not right in terms of masculine and feminine energies, because you are more comfortable with male. But you've actually kind of, I wasn't sure what I was asking, but you have kind of encapsulated it. You are now in a place of balance with your masculine and feminine. So you have answered the question that I didn't know what I was asking.
Right, okay. And what I was going to say as well is that because I've worked, I've come to a point where I recognise my brain function, how my brain works. And I've worked with a lot of different clients during my time, from very young children to very elderly people in all states of being. So what I think my main thing that I wanted to do was really study the human mind to the point where I didn't want to study anymore. I'm still, you know, but I found that when I worked with men, my brain connected completely. It was like, because my brain is very fast, and men have brains that work very quickly. Like they want lots of things. I want to be there, and I'm going there, and I'm, you know, give me some more. You know, something else to do, and they get bored very quickly. I get bored very quickly. There's a sense of my brain connecting with the masculine. Well, I didn't really like working with children that much. Although I feel quite able to connect with all humans, really. You know, I can find a way to connect, but I didn't feel completely satisfied.
Yeah.
And so if I'm working with somebody, it's really important that I feel satisfied, because otherwise I'm going to start wandering with my mind somewhere else.
There's a few things that you've spoken about already that are kind of coming up. One of the things that I want to say is I love this idea of I'm a minority of one. You've mentioned it a few times, And I think what I like about it is if we all look at ourselves as minorities of one, then we are all different and we are all ourselves. We are, you know, and it kind of eliminates that them and us thing, because we're all them and us, but in a more inclusive, collective way than, you know, this is sexism, racism. You know, like I said to somebody the other day, I do think that they are illusions. I mean, this is a time of illusion for me, and those isms and schisms are illusions created to divide. So I really liked that I'm a minority of one. And then the other thing that I thought, shall I, shan't I, is because I've done, you know, I'm a drama therapist also, so I was wondering, and we spoke about the training, I wanted to explore that further, because I just know how difficult that time was for me, working an academic course, children, family, and then having to get my skeletons out my closet. And I remember that when they said to me, you have to undergo therapy, I was like, can I do aromatherapy? Does it have to be that kind of therapy? You know, he was like, really? So that, and I think that, you know, there is that those who need therapy seek therapy either through training to be therapists or whatever, and the wounded healer. And I know that for me, that point in my life, it had been happening for some time, but it was so necessary for me. It was painful, but there was such a releasing of shackles, for want of a better expression, of ideologies and things that I thought I was and everything else. It was very painful, but it was just, there was also this emergence of a more authentic self following that, you know. And I love obviously the creative side of it. So I just wondered how you would sum up your experience of that kind of training, because people also, when you say drama therapy, they're like, oh, you're going to ask me to be like a tree. And it's like, no. But so yeah, just to share that, because I just wondered.
So can you repeat that again? Ask me a question, because I forgot.
The question is, how did you find your experience of that, the training, that training? That's
well, I got thrown off the first course for rutting with the tutor, because I didn't think he was completely authentic, and I was very skeptical about him. And they managed to, anyway, get me off. I was at Roehampton. So that was very difficult, because I ended up going into therapy to deal with the situation of getting thrown off the course in Roehampton. And I thought, this is really ironic, because I'm supposed to be in therapy for, you know, dealing with my personal issues. And here I am dealing with the issues of being rejected from the course. And so it was very interesting. And so that made me even more determined. And I started to do some real in-depth study of commedia dell'arte, which is a form of Italian mask work. And I discovered, doing that study, that I was very, very intrigued by the trickster archetype. And so I did, anyway.
Which archetype, sorry?
I'll talk about that in a bit.
Okay.
So I did all this study, and I realised I needed more experience to be a drama therapist. So I moved to Islington. I went to Islington, to a hostel in Islington, and I then started work in the local NHS psychiatric field. And so I ended up working in acute psychiatry for 7 years, something like that. So moving down the line, I then applied to the Devon course, and I was accepted, I handed them this huge kind of thing that I'd done on Commedia dell'arte and so and so I ended up completing my training in Devon. It was a fantastic course. It really was. I just, yeah, it was just, so basically I've had 2 trainings from 2 different courses, which, you know, it's phenomenal,
Yes.
you know, which is really bizarre. My life is bizarre. It's just no way about it. It's bizarre. And so I have 2 trainings on different courses, and so my experience of training as a drama therapist was extremely difficult.
Yeah.
And the pain that I had to go through to do it, and the fact that it took me 7 years was just, wow.
Well, from when you start the first one, I would imagine you've started that therapeutic process as well. So you've started that, and then you go into therapy about that, and then you're working within psychiatry, and then so it's an, although life is a lifelong process. That's the intensity of being in that mindset and that valiancy and that openness to go down that path was very elongated. I mean, I thought it was painful enough with a couple of years, in fairness. So to have that openness to it for a longer period without the closure, I suppose, until the training is complete. That would be quite. I was just curious how your experience, because we all have such individual experiences as well, but it is it wasn't what I expected. I trained in Ireland, and it wasn't what I expected, and it was more than and less than. And some tutors were amazing, phenomenal, and some tutors were, boy, Jeannie Mac, and you learned lots because of how bad they were.
Yes, yeah.
How not to. So yeah, I just wondered whether there was a shared experience along that line. And as soon as you said there was a tutor, I thought, yeah, I get that. So because this variety of life, and I just all of a sudden there was a variety and spice of life. Is there a moment within your life? I think there's going to be many, but is there one that you would say impacted or defined you in a way that others haven't? Is there something that has happened within your life that you would go, that's the point, and this is what I learned from it?
My mind just leapt straight into in 1981 or 82, I basically, my nervous system collapsed, and so I went to hospital and I had to break down completely because my young life was so unstable that my foundation was very built on the sand, if you like. So I had to admit myself into hospital. So I spent 10 years in the mental health system as a patient. I was in hospital for 3 months. I came out, I was in group psychotherapy for 2.5 years. And then I had a gap, and then I went back to hospital, you see, at the end of the 80s, 89 maybe. And I went in for 2 weeks. I remember this distinct moment. I walked into the kitchen to get a cup of tea, and I saw people there that I knew from when I was in hospital before. And they went, oh, hi, And I had this realization. I thought, I'm never coming back here again. Never again. Because I identified that if you become a part of an institution, whatever that institution is, that institution recognizes you. So it's very easy to go back there.
Yes.
Whatever. And so I thought, that is it for me. I'm done. I'm never, ever going to come back to hospital. And I never have.
Yeah. As you were speaking, when you said about seeing people that were there before, one of the things that came to me was the industries that are created and the customers that are created to keep those industries. And industries and institutions don't want you to necessarily leave them because they're losing the customer, as opposed to, it's one of the reasons that I actually took up coaching as well, because this idea of people being in therapy ad infinitum just doesn't sit well. I know that different people need different time frames and processes because of whatever traumas or whatever it is that they've come to therapy for, but that idea of creating for me, I'm not working effectively if someone is coming back to me for 20 years, unless it's something very, very traumatic that they're dealing with. I've been successful if after a therapeutic intervention that person has then gone on, and we all dip in and out of therapy, and that's what I think people should do, is dip in and out of it, and whether it's therapy or support, mentoring or coaching that they need. But that idea of customers and keeping people within an industry, it's like the pharmaceutical industry, there's no money in cure. And that seems to be across the health spectrum. So that's what came to me, and so I'm really, delighted and humbled by the fact that you made a decision, and then you've progressed through that, and that whatever that was, you've moved forward again, and there's a definite determination to you, Alix, that is inspiring, humbling and inspiring. Most definitely. So this current time, this lockdown, how how have you been within that, and what were you hoping to do before it happened, and what have you been doing, and what are your intentions for the next 3 to 6 months as we come out of it? So that's a triple folded kind of question.
I just want to go 2 steps back, because this therapy thing, so I graduated with a distinction from drama therapy. Moving forward a few years, in my books I've been writing, right, it doesn't matter what you were saying about being in therapy for years and, people coming back and back and back. I just realised it doesn't matter how good I am, because I can never know what's going on in someone's head. I'll never know that, ever. And when I came to that...
We only just about know what's going on in our own sometimes.
What am I doing? I can't be a therapist anymore, because I do not know what's going on in someone's head. And also, as you say, people don't know what's going on in their own head most of the time. So I'm not sure whether it's I can't put a blip on the therapy profession, but the realisation I can't see inside someone's head, I just don't know what's going on at all. So, working in crisis, you just have to listen to the story that you're being told. And you never know whether that's the truth or not.
There is a truth in it, I believe.
Sorry?
I believe that there is a truth, even if somebody's presenting something, creating stories, there is a truth within that is absolutely part of their story. Whatever they're presenting, whatever they're saying, I have no idea whether you're telling me the truth or not, but what I am confident in is that there is a truth.
Yes.
There is a truth. And that's why I think I love working with story with people.
Story, yes.
That aesthetic distance is so powerful, and then they can pull in and pull out the elements of that.
The only thing I am confident about in that situation is the ability of listening to someone. And that is, that is the greatest gift for anybody, is to be listened to. So anyway, that's my thought about therapy. But so lockdown, I've been in my house for 12 weeks because I've got asthma for a start.
Okay.
So I've had pneumonia a couple of times. So I've been really in my house, and so I've really taken it day by day, and I've very much come online to build my community. I've done a ridiculous amount of Zoom calls and Zoom events, so I can learn about Zoom, how to use it in teaching models and how to teach online, how to use Zoom, how to do theatre online. So there's two models I'm going to pursue in terms of my next self. So which I'm hopefully using with men. And it's all really based around forum theatre.
Oh, nice.
And I've rejoined my theatre company that I've been involved with, Cardboard Citizens. So we've done a few workshops over the last few weeks, and just trying to come to terms with this existential crisis and how I can make a difference, how I can help, how I can, really speak into that and make some kind of, make some kind of statement or not statement, or I don't know, just to be there and to share my feelings about that.
I think there's, I suppose I can only speak for myself, but I get a sense that frustration is one of the things, and impotency, the sense of frustration, the sense of impotency. And I really needed to come back to me and acknowledge what detrimental impact it was all having on me.
Yeah.
And come into the foundation of the illusion of it all and the distraction of it all. And that, yes, I do march. Yes, I sign petitions. Yes, I do those things. I do those things. But I think the best thing that I can do is literally just try and vibrate love and try and that. And because I remember when I was young, and I used to believe when I was young that I'd heard about monks in mountains, and I used to truly believe that, excuse me, that they kept the world safe because their constant loving prayers and meditations of all, whether it was Buddhist monks or Catholic monks, whatever it was, those monks that sit in caves somewhere, just constantly praying and meditating for the world, it was them that kept the world balanced. That's what I really, truly believed. And I forgot that I used to believe that as a young person, as a child, up into my 20s, sort of in my early 20s. And then I only remembered that that's what I used to believe. And I thought, okay, maybe I'm not going to become a monk or a nun, but I can do that. That's what I can do to aid this situation. I shall continue to do, if I see it in front of me, I shall continue to challenge and the rest of it. But it is such that it's almost like the last push is to completely depower everyone, to make everybody feel impotent in their power, to make everybody feel frustrated, and to lose that power of one. I think that's what's been going on, to just make us completely forget that we hold the power. And it's about, for me, reclaiming my sovereignty. I was talking yesterday actually saying, how am I going to manage by not engaging with this, because it happens by our consent, which means that if I withdraw my consent, then I can't use the roads, and the tax systems, the health systems, and all of those things. Does that mean that I have to withdraw from those too? So a bit of a practical, how do I practically exist in this, in what's going on? So, but in terms of what I can do, that's what I realised, that the best thing that I can do is to do what I believed the monks did, which is to meditate and pray, for love and peace and harmony, and try and keep that vibration going. And there's lots of people doing it at the moment. There seems to be a real emergence and a collectiveness. And I'm also aware that like my social media, it's like I think because I know, and those other people that I can see know, that everybody knows. And then I go out into the world and I have a couple of conversations. I'm like, no, they don't. They don't.
And there are people that are not awake, and there's nothing that we or I can do about that. All I can do is open my heart and express love and express individuality and this minority of one, and express that and open myself to saying it and being very positive about it. And really my belief around that is so strong that it cannot help but vibrate out because I believe it. So, and I just hope that even if I can reach one person or two people that can also buy into that, the ripple will start.
Well, I'm buying into your minority of one. I absolutely, because for me, I know that all I've been saying recently is know thyself. It has to, everything. And once I do the work that I do because I know that hurt people. So when you go in and you heal your hurts, you're not going to go out and hurt people. So, and if it's one at a time that I do that, exactly like yourself, but it's one at a time. If I can do it to a mass, that would be great, although I'm not really sure. But, but one person at a time, change the world. And you have to start with this minority of one. Person. Heal thy temple, and you will emanate out. And because of the belief and the knowledge and the love, it does emanate out totally. So, and hopefully, people will listen, and now this minority of one will resonate with others as well as they watch and listen to you.
Yeah.
How do people get in touch with you, Alix, if they want to connect with you?
This is a very interesting question because my Facebook is entirely made up of men. It's a men's group. So I have 4,700 men on my Facebook. So if you're a man, you can join me on Facebook. If you're a lady, then I would say the Instagram seems to be an area for me. The creative prescription is now my little Instagram thing.
I love that. I love the sound of that. I just like that creative prescription. I just think it's quite a beautiful sounding thing. And then within that, there's poetry and all sorts I've seen.
Yes. And there's also the book that I've written called The Creative Prescription, which is a self-development tool. In fact, I'll put a link to that on my Instagram because it's on Academia EU.
So can you say, after this, if you could send me the links to how people connect with you, can get your book, etc., I can put them in the comments below, in the description below.
Okay.
Yeah. So that will happen. My final question to you, what truth would you like to share?
What truth would I like to share? This philosophy is interesting because I believe there is no truth, really. There's only ideas, and we all have ideas, everybody. And so the truth is held within ideas that transmute all the time. And also that because of the way the world works in terms of quantum mechanical structure, everything is moving all the time, and you might say this is the truth, and it will last for a microsecond, and then it will be thrown into the ether, and you go, no, this is the truth, and so I don't believe that there is any truth. There is just a moving quantum expression that's going on all the
I
time.
love that. I love that. I mean, it just is. It's so true. There is no truth. The truth is there is no truth. It's constantly moving and constantly alternating because we are constantly moving. So we're constantly fluxing and everything else. And everything. So I can see that. I can resonate with that.
That's not evading the question. I've thought maybe
Not at all, at all. The truth is there is no truth. It's like again, I constantly connect dots to come back to reinforce my own beliefs. I think we all do that, but for me, that reinforces that this is all illusion. It's all illusion.
Right, this is my truth. Then it becomes a fixed point, and there is no fixed point. So you have to be in acceptance of that there is no fixed point. When I feel really well, I feel really content, and I'm thinking, oh, I like this feeling. Oh, and then suddenly,
all is temporary. Enjoy. I think that's one of the things about getting older, is you truly learn that when you are feeling good, enjoy that. Absolutely enjoy that, because everything is temporary, and the attachments that we put to things, but everything is temporary. So when you're on your high, enjoy your high. When you're on your low, be low, enjoy that. Even just okay, this is where I am right now. That's temporary nature of everything, and to experience and to live it right in that moment, because that moment's gone and who knows what's coming. So thank you so much for joining me in conversation, Alix. I have totally enjoyed this. This has been fabulous. So if you could just hold on one moment. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. I say this at every conversation, but I just love doing this. I love talking to people. So I hope you've enjoyed the conversation with Alix. If you wish to connect with Alix, information will be below. So again, that like, subscribe and things. And thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. Be mindful, be careful, be grateful, be kind. Alix, thank you. And bye everyone. So I'm just going to stop.